Good evening, guys. This is Miss Barr from second grade coming to you tonight, and we are going to read the best Christmas pageant ever. I don't know if you've heard this book, but it's been around for a while. It's one of my favorite books, so I thought I would read it for you tonight. So, snuggle in with your comfy blanket, turn out the lights, and here we go. The Herdmans were the worst kids in the history of the world. They lied, they stole, and they played with matches. They were so awful, you could hardly believe they were real. Look at them. They're causing a ruckus. Knocking over the snowman. Oh my goodness. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. They were skinny and stringy-haired and dirty in all different sizes, with all different black and blue places where they had clonked each other. They lived over a garage, and when they didn't have anything else to do, they would bang the garage door up and down and try to squash each other, or the mailman, or their crazy one-eyed cat. Everyone stayed away from them. There they are, trying to squish each other. Pull each other off the roof. Mercy. Then one day they showed up in Sunday school. They stole all the money out of the Bible collection plate, and they drew mustaches on everyone in the Bible. And, though nobody knows how, they took over our annual Christmas pageant. Uh-oh, what's going to happen? Our Christmas pageant is always the same. Kids in bathrobes and bed sheets, acting out the story Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus being born. Everybody knows the story. Everybody but the Herdmans. So they had no idea what they were doing, and they took over the Christmas pageant. Oh no. That didn't stop them from picking out the best parts for themselves. I'll be Mary, Imogene yelled, and Ralph, he'll be Joseph. Everyone else was afraid to volunteer. They left 3 herdmans, Leroy, Claude, and Ollie, to be the wise men, and the worst herdman of all to be the angel of the Lord. Me, Gladys hollered. I'll be that. What is that? Oh no. Then somebody had to read the whole story to them about the star and the shepherds and how there was no room at the inn and how the baby Jesus slept in a manger. The herdmans were shocked. They stuck them out in a barn, Imogene yelped, and they tied Jesus up in rags and put him in a feed box. At least we put Gladys in the dresser drawer. There they are. They're learning about the angel and baby Jesus. They're just shocked. They can't even believe it. Then they heard about the wise men bringing the gifts of oil and frankincense. Claude said, "What good is smelly oil? If we're the wise men, let's bring pizza." He wanted to bring pizza. Oh my. Every year, someone lent us their baby to be Jesus. Not this year. Nobody would trust a herdman with their baby, so Imogene offered to steal one from the supermarket. There's always babies in carts there, she said. Let's forget about a baby, someone said. We used a doll instead. She's so bad she was going to take a baby from the supermarket to be Jesus. What's she thinking? There we go. There's the baby doll with the J on it. Every rehearsal was an adventure. Leroy wanted to chase the mean innkeeper out of town, and Claude and Ollie wanted to run off with the baby to keep him safe. Imogene said she wouldn't name him Jesus. She would just name him Bill, and he wouldn't let the wise men worship him. Get away from that boy, she barked at them. You might have germs. Oh gosh, there she is. She's telling them to get away from baby Jesus. When Gladys found out that the angel of the Lord appeared out of nowhere in the black of night, she was sure it was out of Amazing Comics. Shazam, she yelled, smacking the kid next to her. Gladys liked to smack things. Our Mary was loud and bossy. The wise men were sneaky, and the angel of the Lord came from outer space. This was going to be the worst Christmas pageant ever. Do you think they can get it together? I don't know. Sounds like it's falling apart. Some people wanted to cancel the whole thing. The minister said, "I don't think anyone will come to see it." But they were all wrong. Everybody came just to see what the Herdmans would do. When the curtain opened, Ralph and Imogene stood in the wings, frozen, as if they weren't sure what to do. They weren't pushing or hitting or being Herdmans. The chorus waited and hummed and waited like an old refrigerator. So they're waiting to see what happens. They're kind of scared. When they finally came in, Imogene had slung the baby Jesus doll over her shoulder. Then she thumped it on the back twice, hard. There was a gasp. It didn't seem right to burp the baby Jesus, but that was the whole point of Jesus. He was a real person, and he started out as a real baby. His parents were real too. As real as Imogene, with her veil all crooked, and Ralph with his hair sticking out, as if they had slept in their clothes out in the barn, just like in the real story. So the real baby Jesus was wrapped in rags, and he slept in a barn the night he was born. And there's the angel of the Lord. Then came Gladys from behind the shepherds, shoving them out of the way and stepping on everyone's feet. "Hey," she yelled, "unto you a child is born. He is in the barn." She made it sound like it was the best news in the whole world, which it was. Right behind Gladys came the wise men, but they didn't have the usual frankincense and gold and oil, and they didn't have pizza. Instead, Leroy was carrying something big and heavy. It was a ham from the Herdmans' food basket. The church gave them one every year. The Herdmans had never before given anything away except clonks on the head, so you had to be impressed. The Herdmans were giving the baby Jesus their Christmas ham. How precious. There they are, bringing it out. There's their big ham. That was their gift to the baby Jesus. Then the wise men were supposed to leave and go home, but instead they just sat down. Actually, it seemed like the right thing to do. After all, they had come a long way, and you wouldn't expect them to just hand over the ham and leave. It seemed natural, too, to burp a baby who might be fussy or tired, and for someone to tell people where the baby was so they wouldn't have to wander all over the place. Somehow, every wrong thing the Herdmans did seemed right and natural. It's turning out to be good. Oh, there we go. And then, as everyone sang Silent Night, Imogene started to cry. In the candlelight, her face was all shiny with tears. Awful old Imogene, in her crookedy veil, crying as if Christmas had just come over her all at once. Maybe she understood the real meaning of Christmas. When everybody left the church that night, it was cold and clear with crunchy snow underfoot and bright stars in the sky. Everyone said there was something different this time, something special. And though everybody couldn't say exactly what the something was, everyone agreed it was the best Christmas pageant ever. So they truly understood what the real meaning of Christmas was all about. The end. I hope you enjoyed the best Christmas pageant ever. And I hope that you guys have a Merry Christmas with your family. Love ya.